So now we are going to have an example on how in our solution in CostOS we can use a BIM model in order to price a BOQ list or create a BOQ list by combining a BIM model, an IFC model, this is this building, uh, plus making evaluations if there is a revision and we want to have a real-time information about the latest changes on this model. So it's a quite easy process. We can upload this model, we can select the elements that we are looking for, and we are going to access, at this specific example, the BCIS cost database that's available through an annual subscription in order to connect these BIM elements with prices that are coming from a commercial database. We can see the calculated volume for this item in cubic meters, and we are going to create one BOQ item under a structure group coding, which is the BCIS structure. And on the right-hand side, we can see for this particular BOQ item that we have developed the elements from the BIM model that have been connected. So we have a real-time collaboration between the engineering part and the estimating part under a structure. Also, here we're going to, we can review what elements have been used. We can apply some tools for making faster selections, given the fact that a BIM model has codes and elements grouped under specific items. And we are going to repeat the same process, connecting the BIM elements with a priced element from our local or external cost database. So it's quite easy for the quantity surveyor to use the elements from a BIM model, understand what has been used, what has not been used, get prices, assign prices, but also review on the same panel what has been used and what prices have been provided. Now, in the case that we have a revision by using a BIM model, we can quickly evaluate what differences are there between the initial version and the new version. And all these are happening on the CostOS environment. No need to open another option, another solution. Everything is taking place on the cost estimating environment. So here we can review, we can visually check that there is a new balcony in this model that is not existing on the old one. And we can visually check which are the elements that are different from one model to the other. Also, we can see if there are any deleted items, new items, or items that have been changed. Finally, we can review which elements from the model that have already been used have changed. And here we can see that there is a significant change on the quantity and the overall price. We are accepting these changes, and automatically CostOS is going to update the quantities and the cost plus the model in order to present in real time the changes that have been generated from the new the new BIM model.
I have a question, dear Babis. This is Tekin speaking. Is it IFC format or direct format also will be open for the 3D model? It's only for IFC or any format, native format, we will be able to open it?
Taking just before a couple of days, we celebrated, let's say, the release of CostOS version 7. One of the key advancements that we have succeeded on is that from CostOS 7, we don't need to use to export a BIM file to the IFC protocol. This is exactly the screen that you can review right now. So we have achieved, we have developed an engine that supports uploading of native files like iModel, SKP, DXF, DWFX, and multiple native files to ensure that we don't have data loss through the export to the IFC protocol. And this is something that, apart from the technology achievements, we get as advice from our customers, because as you understand, it's very important and critical for a vendor to understand and have open ears on what the customers are proposing or the issues that are facing, and work with them in order to achieve advancements that will help the customers to achieve more. So we have reached now to this level that we can introduce native files from multiple sources, and we welcome any potential customer prospect that we would like to test this engine and help us understand what additional requirements there might be. So it's a quite powerful tool, and it's one of, I could say, unique in the market. Have I
Great.
answered your question? Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. One more question. When you open the BIM Viewer for quantity takeoff, I you were bringing the total sum up for the walls. It was 2,500 square meters. But as if this item, when we double click, we can also see the list of the walls. Am I right?
Correct. And not only that, even if you have, for example, in the BIM model, you might have, let's call them floors, for example, okay? And you need to select from which floors you would like to evaluate or use the quantity. In CostOS 7, we have given additional tools to the end user so that you can select elements from different levels. So instead of using the grouping that is available on the BIM model, you can create your own categories, or you can break an item to multiple layers. For example, a wall is not only a wall, it's brick, it's cement, etc., etc. So you can divide by percentages or by elements this item. Plus, a very important fact is that we upload the full geometry of really big files, which is quite innovative for our industry. Plus, that this viewing option is available also for multiple users through the Explorer. The Explorer is the, let's call it, web interface of CostOS that's available for every user, so that if you decide to use a native Revit file, this can be automatically uploaded in CostOS, can be used for takeoffs, but also can be used on the web interface for reviewing the model itself.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, let's move on with the GIS, which is a not so known or popular item. However, the industry of geospatial sector has advanced a lot. Here we have an example of a very long pipeline. Okay, so we have uploaded a Google map or OpenStreetMap. In this particular example, we have uploaded a more sophisticated map. It's a KLM file that includes all the geospatial engineering takeoffs that have been submitted by our engineering team. So here we can get all the information of the pipeline, elevations on real time, okay? And we assign this takeoff and close this module, and we can use this quantity, as you can see, for our pipeline. Now, this is not by selecting point by point. This is by utilizing the job and the work that our geospatial team has presented. And this is very important for feeding our very strong tool, the assemblies or cost models, as we call them, where in practice, we, instead of asking the estimator to have everything on an Excel or on his head, can be combined on a questionnaire, let's call it like this, like the one that we have in front of us, and just provide the specifics of a project. In this process, if there is a measurement requirement, we can use the 2D, the BIM, and the GIS takeoff modules to feed our model with data. In this screen, we have a screenshot of our natural gas transmission pipeline assembly that has been developed by Nomitec and Pipeserve, an oil and gas engineering company. which is commercial, and it's based on the ASME B31.8 standard, which is from the European Union. So we are combining all this information in order to build knowledge bases where each customer can either use knowledge provided by other companies or can be optimized, can optimize the engineering knowledge of the company itself. So we have developed our pipe-based knowledge base, which includes this particular example. But at the same time, we have developed the infra-based cost knowledge base in collaboration with ARUC, the UK engineering company, for mainly for bridges, railways, and highways. Obviously, these cost models are generating BOQ items with quantities, with resources, which can be adjusted to meet the local conditions or the local currency, inflation, and all monetary parameters. Now, to combine all these items, we can see this video where we are going to use a standard. We are going to select one existing cost model, which is a building, according to the class 4 protocol of AAC. So here the estimator just provides the specifics of the project. This could be on a form of a questionnaire, of a drop-down menu, and here we need to provide the footprint of this building by using the GIS engine. So we have already measured the area where we are planning to build our skyscraper, okay? For the superstructure area, we can use the BIM takeoff engine, where we have uploaded a very basic BIM model. We are going to use the lightweight concrete in order to provide the data that we need for our cost model. The process is quite simple. We're selecting an element and automatically select the similar items. This takeoff is going to feed our cost model, okay? And moving forward, we are going just to provide further specifics of the project, like the number of floors, if we are going to use elevators, the soil condition, etc., etc. As far as we are moving, on the left-hand side of this model, we can see that there is an initial cost that increases or decreases based on the answers that we are providing. Plus, on the left bottom side, we can see on money, the subcontractor or material cost based on this model. Now, the outcome is going to be a full list of BOQ items with quantities, with resources and prices based to our own engineering knowledge. But also you can see that the same BOQ item list, it's presented in different group codes like POMI, CSA master format, SMM7, etc., etc. So here we can also, on the right-hand side, see which are the elements that or BOQ items and quantities have been pushed from used from the BIM model, so that we can always review where these quantities came from, and also to assist in case that there is a revision. So here we have a total, let's say, example of how we can combine the measurement tools, the modules, plus the multiple coding capabilities of CostOS. In this case, we can also add, for example, another group coding that could be the Primavera P6 or Power Project or Unifier or Isetia or Tilos in order to push this data to the other end and have a successful integration. Now, moving to the integrations, the compatibility of CostOS, it's a very important part for us. We understand that, and we are coming from an industry that integration is a key element of success. So in our tool, we have succeeded combining data incoming and outcoming to all the sectors that we understand are critical for a project management initiative. So starting from engineering, 3D design, external databases, project management, the financial part, and the reporting area. So on the right-hand side, you can see all the existing integrations or compatibility. Plus means that if there is a solution that you cannot see here, we have the technology, we are using the API technology to connect CostOS with any software that your company might be using. Obviously, here we are presenting the top choices on the market and the most popular ones, but we are not limited on that level. Now, the next step will be that to discuss how we can use our bills to benchmark. The benchmarking process is very critical for the company since this will help us to use all the historical data that we have in our libraries, either on Excel format or in Costos. And we have developed a solution called Cosmo, which help you to quickly centralize and consolidate your cost estimates and actuals from multiple historical projects and normalize the data that are coming using either industry standards or normalization factors and aiming to provide a consistent, meaningful insight on the data. In this example that you can see here, it's developed by Piotr during our previous partners event. So here we have used three buildings, older projects, in order to build our current target. So we have applied indices like productivity indices, consumption indexes, and we are bringing old money to today's prices, having a quick evaluation of how a project would look today using our standards. On top of that, we can also apply some models in order to evaluate how these projects look and which are the projects that are meeting our requirements and should or should not be excluded. On the left-hand side, on the first window, we can see that we have two axes. One is the total cost per gross external floor area and the design life of the project. While on the right-hand side, we have a room against the project value in US dollar, so that we can make the right selection for our projects. Now, the benefits by applying a benchmark process and by using Cosmo is that we can improve our cost intelligence by centralizing, consolidating, and comparing actuals and estimates from multiple sources, project types, and use our own KPIs. To get a consistent, meaningful insight by using industry standards to normalize country variations or project inputs, making accurate and consistent comparison of project costs, provide governance, evidence, applying indices, currency rates. There are so many tools that we can use in order to move on a more advanced benchmarking process. In order to get quick results, Cosmo helps the user to find information quickly. It's a flexible configuration and categorization of data. It's an integrated system supporting all sizes of companies. And as always, this is driven by a strategic customer that provides data and feedback on how such a solution should be built. And we are going to close today's presentation by the Nomitech universe, starting with CostOS and the CostOS Explorer. We have, through the years, developed a number of solutions like Cosmo, the BIM City, which is our new BIM engine, infra-based and pipe-based, international catalogs for cost elements, connections with external systems. We understand that we are living on an integrated world that still needs to secure the individuality and the data value of each customer. We have implemented in various types of companies, different sectors, different countries, and all these are secured by our collaboration with trusted certified partners like F&D, who understand the same language and help us to expand our operations and deliver successful projects. If you want to learn more, you can contact the F&D team, while you can also visit our website and our mass media addresses like LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, etc. It has been a pleasure. Thank you all for your time and for giving me the option to present to you our approach and our offer. Have a nice day.